Right. We are live. Yeah. Yeah. Looks like we managed to go live. Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Young CXO dialogue. So in today's dialogue, we're going to be discussing UX leadership. So when you talk of UX, is UX limited to just the UX team? Or is it a broader thought process which you'd like to bring across your organization? So today we have some young participants with some interesting ideas to bring UX thought process across the organization. We shall listen to all of them and then maybe deep dive into a dialogue slowly. So who'd like to go in first with your pitch as to how you would go about UX leadership to get your entire organization to think about UX? Who wants to go in first?
I would like to go first.
Hmm.
Okay, so my pitch was all around e-commerce website and Amazon. So when we think around the user experience, means in e-commerce, then the first website comes in our mind, which is Amazon, right? So I won't to go in deep, like how we can, but yeah, my answer would be around how we can implement this US thinking in the team, right? So first thing is important when it comes to developer. So as a developer, we things in terms of technology, right? Means front end or the back end. We think in terms of technology. We never think in terms of how user will use my product, right? So first of all, my team or as a myself, I will go through like how as a user how I want to see my product and how I want to use my product. Second thing I would like to add is, let's say if I want to, get some information regarding front end, then there is a strong connection. There should be a strong connection between front end and back end so that product goes smooth or seamless. Same with the design team. Let's say if my if a team design team
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amrit, we lost you for a while. So can you repeat the second half? You were talking about what happened, what applies to the design team. I think we lost you there. So you can get started.
Yeah. So I will means whenever my design team will design a product, I will strongly recommend my team to join that team so that they can also get the strong perspective of like how users think, right? And according to that, they will design their technology, right? So that's thing I am going to do with my team, like integrate design team, so tech team to design team.
Okay. Thank you, Amrit. Who wants to go in next?
Yeah, I'd like to go in next because even my pitch was around the e-commerce. So I'd like to pitch next. My pitch was about the e-commerce and the same examples of Amazon and Flipkart. And the concept, I'd like to say that the concept of e-commerce user experience means to understand the minds of the customers or the users and try to find out find out how they are feeling while they are operating our product with our product. If we take the example of Amazon or Flipkart or these shopping websites, what they always try to find out to give a simple and logical and enjoyable experience to the users. That is because UX plays a very major role, and UX has a make or break situation. It can create a make or break situation to the company. And the factors which can also be considered would be the simplicity of operations and the design which does not dominate the products, and also the product promotion and visual elements which are helpful, and also focusing on the main aspects, like for example, if the product is given in a certain scenario, the buy button has a different color. so that the users are attracted. Users know how to differentiate between the product and what they have to act upon. And this has to be this is not only up to the UX team. It is more based on the completely product based also, because the growth of the company does not depend on a single factor. It depends on all the factors. So I'd like to say that the main elements would be empathy, expression, and evidence. So that empathy would be to discuss and be able to convey our thoughts to the team, so that they will be able to understand what we are actually trying to make. And the next one would be expression. When they are able to understand it, we can take an action upon what we want to do by using the UX. And the next one would be evidence. When we have the entire thing created, we can test it by getting some reviews and stuff like that, and that could act as an evidence. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Aisha. Who wants to go next?
I'd like to go next. The question was how to get your team to think in a UX sense, right? Right, Arun?
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. What I would say is like, okay. So UX is a major part of the whole business or a product. It decides whether it will break or make the product. Like it will, whether the product will be a good thing or a bad thing, right? So the people who's working on the product, if they do believe in the product, if the product is for a cause, and if they do believe in the cause, I think that's the best way, which will make them to focus on UX too. Because if the product is solving a problem and you're solving it in a way that is not convenient, the problem will not be solved, which will defeat the entire purpose of the thing, right? So if the people actually believe in the product, if the people actually believe this product can solve a problem, I believe I think that itself is enough to make them focus on better UX.
Okay. Thank you, Naveen. Who wants to go in next? Yeah, Raman, please go ahead.
Yeah. So my pitch was about freelancing business. So for a freelancing business, the UX is a vital aspect of in business field. And why? Because freelancers, if we by focusing on user experience, freelancers can attract and retain clients and smooth the freelancing process, and they can stand out of the competition if they focus on the a user experience. If they build product that solves problem, but the experience should be good, also be good. And investing in UX can be a smart or strategic move for any freelancer to to make his way out of the marketplace. Yeah, so this was my.
Thank you, Raman. Yeah, Satya, please go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So I think thinking from the perspective of the user is important for any team in the company, not just the UX team. And to do that, I would think like the main aspect of it is like identifying the target audience. So like anything that would work for a college student would not work for a 40-year-old government employee, right? So it's completely different. So once we can identify our target audience, then we can work on the UX, like based on the target population and what works for them exactly. My perspective.
Okay. Thank you, Satya. That's a very nice thought process to get everyone interested in UX. Yeah, anyone else going in?
I would like to go next. So basically UX, according to me, is how we convey the product story to the external world. how better are we able to deliver that particular story of our product, right? So uh, in order to have better UX design, what we have to do is the user research, right? So we will face a lot of challenges while building our product, and the user may not be satisfied with our product in initial phase. So we can conduct a research, and according to that we can see what are the pain points the user is facing in that particular UX, and according to that we can remove as well as add some functionalities. I'm not saying that adding some functionalities will will actually impact on a better UX design, but it will be like adding lot of functionalities in a way which will not force the user to think a lot while making decisions on that particular website. It's like introducing new stuffs in a way that the navigation and going with the product gets smoother, right? And also uh, make I would like to say that making the product with minimal functionalities is at the beginning is really important, because the resources used are less, and we can target our target audiences in a better manner, and also it builds a very strong case for the team to think of a better UX at that time. Also we need to we need to try a lot in order to find the right angle in which we have to improve our product. Suppose user is facing issue in some different button, but we are improving something else. We need to find what's the issue is. And also a good UX will reduce development time, and also fix a lot of our bugs in that particular website or app. So that was my pitch. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronak.
Uh, I think user experience is all about the customer satisfaction, and if a product is able to overcome their pain points, and if we want to think in a bigger perspective, I think the company should be able to make people believe what the company believes in, and there should be they should be able to communicate that the customer is also having some or the other benefit from their product. And yeah, and the product should be it should have a cause and purpose, and it should be able to create an impact on the larger audience.
Okay.
Okay, so starting from product ideation to product execution, how this user experience plays a vital role, keeping user-centric approach, how we can build successful products which meets the target audience needs by prioritizing user-centered design and incorporating their needs, so that it could communicate the purpose of or the value which we are creating, is what all my pitch about. For this, I took an example of edutech platforms, where we need to concentrate on three major factors: engagement, retention, and satisfaction. How intuitive we can make the process while building up the product, and also keeping in mind that we are not going with assumptions or biases or some other all thinking, so that it could avoid chaos, and also it could create that user-friendly app or interface where users could relate themselves well, is all my pitch about. So excited to be part of this SD.
Thank you, Jansi. Thank you, everyone, for the wonderful responses. So now we go into the questions, the more interesting part. So I'd like to ask you guys, I'll take three responses. According to you, what is UX? Yeah, Amrit. Okay. Looks like he got stuck again. Someone else want to go in. According to you, what is UX?
Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible, Amrit. Please go ahead.
Okay. When in terms of business, or let's say website, when customer enters and when he leaves, are you giving the positive satisfaction or a wow moment? That's, I think, UX means, UX is all about, making complex things simple. which makes decision makes really easier for user, not a lot of confusion, which creates.
Okay, so is simplicity always the best user experience?
Means if that thing is confusion, means first that thing is confusion and now you make it simple.
Does simplicity necessarily mean it is less confusing? Can there be situations where complexity is better than simplicity?
I guess majorly simplicity is the best UX, but yeah.
Asking, can there be situations where complexity is better than simplicity?
Yes,
Like,
I can give an example. Like let's take Mac OS and Linux. I think that would be a better example. For people who just want to use a computer, Mac OS gives them the best user experience because it is simple. They don't want to go through the little details to get stuff done. But when it's a person who wants to use an OS to get things done in a totally controlled manner, like they want what they want, then Linux gives that freedom. That's a better experience for the person who wants to do stuff in that way. So it depends on people. Someone wants it simple, someone wants it complex because they want control.
okay, or rather, let me ask a different question. Would you prefer going to a marketplace and buying in the marketplace? If you have to buy apples, would you prefer going to a marketplace and buying apples in the marketplace? Or would you prefer buying apples from a store next door, who's selling apples?
I'll prefer buying it from the next store if it provides me a good quality apple.
Let's say you really love fruits. You really love fruit.
Yeah.
You're going to buy apples. Would you prefer buying it in the marketplace or in that normal store?
Would prefer buying it in the marketplace
Why?
because of the quality of the products.
Is it just quality or
Price.
So
I'll
we
prefer
have-
what.
we can have multiple choices.
right?
Yeah.
A lot of times the shopping experience is not really about buying, but about checking things out, right?
Yeah.
You get that experience of checking things out. And then do you want a store with fixed price or do you want a store where the prices keep oscillating and you have to figure out where to buy?
Fixed price. I like fixed price.
But let's say you're going shopping, what would you prefer? Fixed price or
Yeah, me too. Fixed price.
if you're going out shopping?
Fixed price, it's easy, right? Don't have
Yeah,
to bargain, don't have to do anything. Just give the
Yeah.
price they ask for.
Okay. But if you look at it, most people, they go to the marketplace, they enjoy being in the marketplace, they enjoy bargaining, they enjoy checking out different places. The different places, different quality, different people, everything changes. Is it complex?
But what if both target audience are different? Means let's say both target audience are
I'm not
different.
talking about all target audience. I'm just saying, is it possible that sometimes people find complexity to be easier than simplicity?
Definitely.
Dan Norman has that critique, right? User experience is not necessarily about simplicity. Sometimes a better user experience could be complexity. So then again, I go back to my question, what is user experience?
Okay, so I would like to go here. Like, user experience is something what user feels and finds really smooth to go with. Like, suppose if I'm using an app, I will rather prefer a simple design which will help me navigate to that particular thing which I want to access, not a complex stuff like which actually make
But
me
as
think,
Naveen
right?
said, but let me stop you here.
Yeah.
Let me stop you here.
Mhm.
Naveen said, if you're using Linux, a lot of things may not be simple. Maybe you'll need some know-how to be able to go there and get that thing done. But as
Yes.
a tech geek, you might prefer that Linux, which gives you more power, than say a Mac, which would be more straightforward. So would good user experience necessarily mean simplicity is my question. So if good user experience is not necessarily simplicity, what is good user experience?
I think a user experience could be when a user is interacting with that, he should feel that organic touch. And comparing simplicity and complexity, if they can create a balance between that neutral stage where they can adapt to it.
Wait, sometimes I love the complexity. I mean, complexity is not always hard. Like you look at people deal with chaos quite well when you look at how people behave in marketplaces, how people behave in a crowd, and so on. Sometimes we know how to deal with the complexity and we like the complexity.
Yeah, but what I feel is rather than starting from too much simplicity, like from neutral stage, they can go towards.
Right now, is this setup complex or simple? Do you have a specific sequence of who goes in next and who talks next and who's questioned? What happens?
No.
So do you like it simple or do you like it complex this way?
Okay, in this way, it is okay. Complex is good.
But you're asking for middle ground. But this is very complex. You never know who's going to talk next, what they're going to talk, what topic is going to come. You have no clue.
Okay,
Isn't that
so
why
then
I-
so then the factor of interest plays a key role in complexity, right? Like if something is complex, I should have that interest to decode it, understand it, do something with it.
Okay. Now an important question. So
Park, I would like to answer that question actually.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so the question was what is user experience, right? User experience is what user feels. It's literally that. And it could be good, it could be bad. Totally depends on the user. A good experience, I mean, good or bad experience is basically what feeling this experience generates in that person. If it's excitement, if it's happiness, it's a good thing. I mean, there are good feelings, right?
Oh, wait,
If
I want
it's-
to stop you there. I have a question for Satya. I'll come back, but first I will go to Naveen. It's an interesting thread. If I'm a user, I feel excited using your product. Is it good user experience?
It is.
What if yours is a meditation app and I feel excited?
Depends.
Again, back to the dependency thing. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to add one
So
thing.
then what is good user experience? If you
Then
can't
I-
get it based on the feeling, then what is the user experience?
Then I guess we also have to factor in the purpose of the thing, whatever it is.
Tell me what is good user experience.
Can I add one thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess like let's say when a person thinks about something and you comes in their mind. Okay, let's say simplicity, right? MacBook comes in your mind. That means you created a good user experience in terms of simplicity. But when it comes to power, then Linux comes in your mind. That's
Give me examples. I want a general definition. What is good user experience?
And
It's all about how meaningful and how relevant experience are giving to the user.
Okay. If your experience is meaningful and relevant, is it always good user experience?
In most of the cases.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. But I'm asking always.
If you're developing a video game, then it's not.
Yeah. There again, people want madness.
Yeah.
Then what is good user experience?
If the user
So,
is able
it's
to
something
enjoy the
like-
experience.
Okay, looks like everyone is interested. I hope it's a good user experience.
I would like to go.
Yeah.
An experience. Okay.
Madness is not always so great. Yeah. Wait, who went in? Ronak went in first. Then Ayesha.
Yeah,
then Naveen, yeah.
So I think someone said you cannot understand good design if you do not understand people. So I think UX designing requires a deep understanding of what user actually wants. It's like the needs, that time the wants, the behavior, and how they will like to approach that particular product. I would say the ability to understand these kind of things, I guess, is really critical for
Is that
normal
UX or is that
designer.
UX research?
It's basically UX.
No, the ability to understand what the user wants, is it UX research or is it UX?
It's UX research. That's
My question is, what is good UX?
In the initial
Okay.
phase, if they can meet the target audience needs and address it, first place, doesn't it create the first impression, Karan?
1 minute. I'll come back to you, but Ayesha, I have a question. I'll come back. Ayesha.
If the user enjoys the experience that he has gone through, then it would be a good UX.
Okay, again, I'll come back. Yeah, Naveen.
Yeah, the experience that fulfills the need in the question and create some good feelings. That would be a good user experience.
Okay, I'll come back to you also. First, Jansi. If my needs are met, does it necessarily mean good user experience?
In the first place, it do hold to some impression, right?
I'm asking, does it necessarily mean good user experience if my needs are met?
Again, it depends.
Means yes. If
Okay. Go to Barbecue Nation. My hunger is satisfied. Is that good user experience for me?
You are satisfied, right?
Might not
Are
be.
you satisfied? When they put those desserts out there, are you satisfied?
Yeah.
No, you're full. Your hunger is satisfied. Are you satisfied? Your needs are met. Your hunger is met. Are you satisfied?
no, because you will think I didn't taste a lot of things.
Okay, now I'll go back to Aisha. Aisha was like, if I'm happy, right?
If the user enjoys the experience.
Okay. If the user enjoys the experience, is it necessarily good user experience?
Yeah.
Can you think of an example where the user enjoys the experience and it's not good user experience?
Yeah.
What?
Okay. Okay. No, I won't. Okay. Okay. It's live. I cannot say. Okay. Means when people drink now, so they actually enjoy, but after that they also regret.
Okay. Interesting perspective. So then what is good user experience? Okay. I'll change the question. I'm really sorry for changing the question very late. If I changed it earlier, it would have induced a thought, but the game would have died. So brought it a little late. The question is, who decides what is good user experience?
User.
User decides.
So what is good user experience?
Okay, if user comes again to your website and gives you a constant
Is that necessarily due to good user experience if the user is coming back again?
No.
yeah, means according okay.
Users go back to IRCTC again and again. Do you say IRCTC has good user experience?
No.
They have only one option now. So user they don't care about user experience.
Because they have a monopoly.
Yeah.
So if you say if audience are coming again and again, it is good user experience.
No.
They don't care. Usually government website.
Doesn't necessarily have to.
But who decides what is good user experience? The user. So what is good user experience? If the users tell you that they like the experience. Now, what is the problem in all these answers? Whose answer was it?
It was our answer rather than a user's perspective.
If the user is excited, it's good user experience. If the user's needs are filled, it's a good user experience. But who decided it?
We decided.
But who decides the user experience?
The user.
It's the user, but we are not the users here.
Exactly, right? Why does a company need a UX guy then, or a UX person then?
He thinks like a user.
He or she says, "Let's relax. We don't decide it. User does. Let's go find out.
Yeah.
Let's find out what the user thinks about it. Let's find out what the user wants." Okay. Now, okay, we've discussed what is UX, but that's not the topic for today. Now, my next question is, who is responsible for the UX-oriented thinking? Is it the UX team? Is it the product team? Is it the tech team? Who's responsible for UX-oriented thinking?
I think everyone who is working on it.
I think it should start from the leader of the company, and that person should be responsible to inculcate this kind of thinking in each and every domain of the company.
Okay. Now, a simple question. Let's say you're building Swiggy. So is the user experience of Swiggy about how the app is designed, how the app works, and so on? Is it limited to that?
No.
No.
The whole marketing and tech team, everyone.
Everything.
What is the user experience then? What if the food quality is not good?
Making sure that from end to end that go in a right pace.
So what if the delivery boy is very rude? So is user experience just about the digital experience?
No.
No.
So would the idea of user experience be relevant in a pharma company like Creative Organics also?
Yes.
Yes.
What is the experience that your consumer, I mean your customer maybe could be another business, not a a retail consumer. But then that business which is buying the APIs of Creative Organics also has a user experience, right?
Yes.
So now user experience is not limited to the digital experience, correct?
Yeah.
It's a holistic
Yes.
user experience. Now, does the watchman of Creative Organics add to the user experience?
Yes.
How?
Yes.
How?
Okay. Yeah, means
If they have a
he is
watch-
also a part of that business, and user is means touch point of a user.
Oh no, the user is somewhere probably in America or Europe, and that guy is importing it. That person is importing it from India. That customer would have never even come to their factory or come to their place. So how is the watchman adding to the user experience?
The watchman is adding to the user experience. I mean, to the user experience of people who actually come to the factory.
Okay.
I mean, if there is no watchman and like half of the shipment is lost, and the shipment is not reaching Australia or Germany or wherever the user is, and now the user is dissatisfied because where is my shipment? So that could also.
Okay, the watchman is keeping the shipment safe. And then what else is the watchman doing to add to the user experience? Okay, first, what is a good user experience for the person who's buying the APIs? API stands for active pharmaceutical ingredients, which they use to make the actual drugs.
Like receiving the products on time and in good quality.
Okay. They need it on time and they need it in good quality. What is the watchman doing to ensure these two? Okay, what does a watchman do?
End of the day, he will be guarding the and like company, safeguarding the products and everything.
Safeguarding the whole unit.
Yeah.
Making sure the right people come in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Making sure people come in with a smile.
Yeah, are welcomed.
Okay.
Yeah.
If everyone in Creative Organics feels welcomed, they come to the factory, they feel welcomed, they're treated well. What do?
It's a good user experience.
They come often.
Yeah,
The feel good
recommend.
factor.
Recommend.
Yeah, they anyway have to come often to get their salary. Their employees working there, so they'll anyway come early. I mean, they'll anyway come often, and they'll probably come on time because it's a company and you'll have to come on time. But what changes when the watchman is smiling, welcoming, greeting everyone well?
At least the day starts with a smile.
Yeah.
Okay, then what happens to the people?
They'll go with a good positive vibe inside to give best.
They'll work with more energy and enthusiasm.
They will share that smile to users as well. Means that all employees.
Okay. Okay. Let me tell you guys something. Today I was, I didn't have my lunch because of serious meetings and so on. While coming back in metro, I took that Frankie, right? So that Frankie guy was frustrated. He makes my Frankie and I'm like, no, please remove that mirchi. I don't want the mirchi. My tongue gets irritated when I eat one. He's like, no, I can't remove it. I already made it. Then I'm like, no, but I can't eat it. Then he throws that entire onion and mirchi down and again puts onion again, wastes a lot of onion and then gives it. Now that guy was frustrated due to some reason. Now I am somebody who doesn't, like something being wasted. I don't like that. Of course, I do waste stuff, but I don't like it. Is that a good user experience for me when he's thrown stuff?
No.
I told him he could just pick it up and remove
It
it.
is not.
Now that guy was frustrated. What if that guy was not frustrated?
He will give you best.
He will respond in a better way.
Yeah.
Rather frustrated.
He would function well, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So what if the watchman smiles and welcomes everyone well?
Means even if someone is frustrated, he will function well. Means in terms of employee or user, anyone.
And if you're in the procurement team of Creative Organics, do you have a role to play in creating good user experience? How? If you're in procurement team, you're procuring raw materials. Would the quality of raw materials affect the quality of the end output?
Yes.
Yes.
Would you make a compromise because the prices are going up or something? You wouldn't want the end customer to suffer, right?
Yes.
Now, let's say you work in a restaurant, right? And you add mayo to the, let's say the roll, right? And you know that your customers like mayo. And mayo is not available. And to get mayo, you have to travel another 10 kilometers. Now, if you're in the supply chain team, and you know that it's going to take another 10 kilometers and another 2 hours of commute to get that mayo, would you do it or would you not do it? If you think of user experience.
Yes.
If you
It
think
depends.
if you prioritize user experience.
Of course.
I mean, if I can substitute mayo with ketchup and the number of sales is not reducing that drastically.
If the
So I
sales,
would
if
rather
the sales
prefer.
doesn't reduce, but I know that my users like mayo more than ketchup, what would I do? If I know my sales won't reduce, but my cost will increase because I have to travel 10 kilometers and come.
If user is priority, then cost doesn't matter for you.
Okay. The business guy is probably not going to agree with you.
No, but if we like are spending more hours and then cost of it is increasing, I think replacement would be a better option because sales is anyway not getting affected.
Excellent. I'm talking to a product person. And I'm a UX person. And a UX person hates product people for the same reason sometimes. He's just joking. But what I'm saying is, okay, if I'm a UX person or if you're a UX person, your sales are unaffected. You're getting the same sales, but your user prefers the more expensive route. What will you do?
Increase the cost of the product.
Yeah, I would
Like-
increase the product cost with mayo. Like if you want mayo, I would charge you extra so that, I would also get the profit and you would also get the experience.
Yeah.
Okay. But wait, the price went up only for one day and you're going to increase the price for everyone.
But if the other shop has mayo, we will go there, right?
Huh?
If the other shop has mayo, we will go there, right?
The point is, once it happened and you want to increase the price immediately.
No.
You know what's happening in this entire thought process? The thought process is like, what's in it for me? How do I make my profit? But what if your thought process is like, how do I deliver this to the user? How do I give the best experience to the user? Would you care about the mayo extra cost? You'll be thinking like, how do I give the best damn experience to the user, no matter what it is? Now, if you're delivering that high experience, would your sales team ask for a higher margin or a lower margin?
They will ask for higher margin because end of the day.
The customers be willing to pay that higher margin.
The
best experience, right? When you're anyway taking a higher margin, will you look at costs everywhere? I'll give you a simple example. At Deep Thought, right? When my clients come and ask me for discount, they say discount nahi milega. no discount, nahi milega. But when it comes to doing Socratic dialogues or workshops or anything, you want extra people, chalo, do it. Okay. Money is not a problem, chalo, go do it. To the team. That is UX thought process everywhere, right? You think of the user, how can I give that value to the user? I don't worry about my cost right now. I worry about my user. And what happens to my cost? Anyway, I am premium. I'm going to load up my margins anyway. But I'm going to think of the user first before anything else. Now, good that all this discussion came out. So is it important for your salespeople to understand user experience?
Yes.
Yes.
What if your salesperson makes unrealistic expectations?
The user experience will be affected.
Okay. Do you want your finance people to understand user experience?
Yes.
Yes.
So that they stop bugging you when you deliver good stuff. So then you want everybody in the organization to understand user experience, right? No, do you want them to bring that user experience because you said it? Or do you want that to come from inside?
From inside.
From inside.
Now a question. Now when you go to really good restaurants, when you go to a really good restaurant, the waiter greets you. The waiter smiles. Is it because you're going to tip the waiter that the greeter greets you?
No.
No, it's because it's his way of expressing to the customers.
Why is it that way?
He wants to have, he wants us to have a good experience with the whole.
Why?
I guess Starbucks does really well in terms of, because it's in their culture first to greet their customers and then deliver the coffee.
What happens when that thing is in their culture? Yeah, Raman, please go ahead.
Maybe it's the demand of the job.
Okay. If it's the demand of the job, would they do it only when the supervisor is monitoring, or would they do it when the supervisor is not monitoring?
Even not monitoring.
No, if it's the demand of the job.
No, they will not do. Only do when someone is monitoring them.
If they don't understand the course.
What if it's a part of the culture?
Then they do it.
Even nobody is watching.
Naturally, right? And when a new person comes, does the person learn it? Or does the person need formal training?
Yes, because he is not aware of culture.
Okay.
No, I think it can
yeah.
automatically be.
Fast.
It doesn't need any formal training. They'll automatically be able to grasp that.
Okay, like learning from others.
Yeah, that's what the culture is about, right? Culture is a huge advantage to you because the new people just pick it up from the culture.
Yeah.
People do it automatically through the culture. Yeah, Ronak.
Oh, so what if a user, let's say, let's take the example of that particular restaurant which we are talking about. A customer comes in, waiter greets him really well, but the customer is really, annoyed because of some other reasons. He is talking really, really bad about that waiter or something like that. Will that waiter be same to him? Like, will he not change his perspective of dealing with customers that time? Like, will he be still smiling in order to provide a good customer experience?
I can tell you some episodes where people were polite and they understand maybe this customer is going through some frustration. In some cases, they calm down the person and say, okay, relax, don't worry. Here's a glass of water for you or something, and let that person relax without taking it personally.
Yeah, can I share one thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically it happens like even Maruti gets continuous award in terms of user experience. And whenever user comes frustrated now, user says like when they come frustrated, they goes happily, means band happily. So yeah, it is a terms of user experience. User experience means it depends on that whole frustrated guy happy.
I was actually going to say it depends on the empathy of the person, for Ronak's question.
Like I was saying, under adverse conditions, under worst conditions, will the Or will that waiter be still thinking of that user experience thing? That
May
was my question.
May not be.
Yeah.
But is the likelihood of the waiter giving a good user experience high if that's ingrained into the belief system of the waiter and ingrained into the culture of the organization? Okay, let's take Ronak's question. It's interesting. Now, if that waiter is in an adverse situation, and that person is saying all that, what might likely happen in that environment?
Either the way
Alone in that environment.
Maybe the environment gets negative.
Is the waiter
90%.
alone in that environment?
90% he would try to be polite as much as possible.
No, is this waiter alone in that environment?
No, he's not. His colleagues will be there all around.
So what is likely to happen?
They will come when situation is getting worse.
Is it only colleagues?
Other customers as well in the restaurant.
And if those customers have experienced great experience and this person is rude to the waiter, maybe one of the customers says, hey, this is not what this place is about. Relax. And take the stand for the waiter. So would you see merit in making a good practice a part of the culture itself? Because it spreads to everyone by itself. So now if UX is that practice, right, the way of thinking, right, user first thinking, would you want that to be a part of your culture itself?
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Exactly.
The question of the dialogue was, how will you do that? You all spoke of how you'll improve UX. The question is, how will you make UX as a part of your company's culture? That everyone thinks of UX as a part of the culture itself.
Like making it a priority.
How?
Aligning team, keeping that as an end goal, ensuring that everyone is working towards it, so that it could deliver the true valuable experience.
Then people are doing it because you kept it as an end goal.
Sorry?
People are doing it because you kept it as an end goal.
You have to make people believe what you believe in, and it should be like creating a bigger impact on the whole.
I also want to add one thing.
So Kanchi, I saw you use a lot of should be's. So are we enforcing this?
This is kind of instruction.
Are we enforcing good UX?
No.
Inculcating it.
Yeah.
Okay, my question is, then how do you inculcate? I wouldn't say even inculcate. How do you ingrain it within your culture? You said you make it a priority. Then it doesn't become a part of your culture. It becomes a part of your SOP, your standard operating process. How do you make it a part of your culture?
Can I add one thing? Means when it comes to user experience, we can like study Amazon, and even their mission statement says like delivering the best user experience, right? So whatever decision means they takes in terms of what my user will feel.
But how did they ingrain it in the culture? When you said Amazon, I thought you were going to say this, but Amazon is a wonderful that one word. Okay, let me just say it. They've got a wonderful ritual. You know what that ritual is? In any boardroom, before making a decision, in any boardroom of Amazon, there's always one empty chair.
For user.
Yeah.
For user. Acha. Yes.
And they ask, okay, what would the user decide here?
Yeah.
Before making the decision. So the ritual, which is to leave one chair empty and say that this chair is our user. Now that's something they've done to make it a part of their culture, right? By having a ritual.
But do you think that only giving like one chair to one particular user would be sufficient enough? Like that person will be sharing the thought of his own thought, right?
They don't bring a real user. They don't bring a real user.
Okay.
They put an empty chair.
To understand the
So it's like
Wow.
this. Mahatma Gandhi goes and makes a little bit of salt. With that, is he ending entire British salt production?
No.
It's just symbolic, right? It's symbolic to tell the Britishers that I can stand on my own. I don't need you. So when Amazon puts one empty chair there, it's symbolic.
Hmm.
So they will eventually think of the user, right, who
Yeah.
is going to use that particular product.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, even they were launching Prime, and they were not thinking about the money. It was into negative, like they were thinking about only user experience. So yeah, it was a great example.
Right. So rituals are a way to ingrain it in your culture. Then what is another way?
So what I thought of, like, now culture, what we can do is, like, in every breakout rooms, we can have a observer. We can think of him like a user, and we can ask him to review the things we actually did. If he like, yeah, if he thinks that this is
He
good,
or she.
if he or she, yeah, if he or she thinks that this needs some improvement, we can, make some reviews and change it. That's how we
Yeah.
can do
Yeah,
that in our culture.
we can encourage team members to get user feedback.
Okay.
Even
Yeah,
it
I'm
is a
talking about how do you ingrain it in your culture. One way is to interact, to give more opportunities for people to interact with users. As in Deep Thought, we have this culture of observation where new people keep coming and more people keep coming in. So they experience the technology. So you understand how different people are reacting to the technology. What could be other methods? Like Amazon has this ritual of, empty chair. What could be other ways? Now, does everyone understand UX? Yeah, Aisha, please go ahead.
By putting the team members in the place of user.
Brilliant. How do you do that?
Like suppose if I am the one who created a thing, the rest of the team members have to use it and give their reviews.
Okay. So now first is, how do you get everybody in your team to understand the importance of UX? Would you want to make them use some really, really good products? Why?
For the feedback.
Communicating purpose behind creating.
No, do you want them to experience great user experience? Once you go to a really, really good restaurant which treats you so well, would you then understand good user experience better after that?
Yeah.
So would you
Yes.
want to put your team through really good experiences? And would
Yeah.
you want to educate them about what is user experience? What are the concepts of user experience?
Mhm.
People might think I'm doing user experience, but you see, when I cross questioned you, you're like, who decides? And you're like, I decided. That is not user experience.
that user
Just
design.
reading alone is not enough, right? You want to go deep. So can you have deeper discussions so that people realize what is user experience with the entire organization? Okay. Before you guys go in with reflections, I just want to conclude saying, when Deep Thought wanted to bring a UX culture within Deep Thought, we wrote this Socratic dialogue questionnaire and did this Socratic dialogue, because we wanted everybody in the team to understand what is UX. We set up a new team of UX in 2021. But we said it's not just this team which will do UX. We want the entire company to think UX. 3 pages of questionnaire where everyone learned UX. And people learned that today UX is the new oil. Companies fight patent wars over UX. Companies are fighting to create the best UX, the patents over UX. UX is extremely valuable in 21st century. Okay. So this brings us to the conclusion of the dialogue. I'd love to listen to your takeaways from the dialogue.
My takeaway is the one takeaway I would like to share, which is like let user decide good user experience, not you. So yeah, and we will also think around it and
Okay. Thank you, Amrit. Who's going next?
Yeah, I would like to point. So rather than sitting down and discussing about the features and all this stuff, when we start educating what is real user experiences, I think that there is where the half battle is won. And from there, the smooth transition might happen. And also making rituals as a part of culture creates a real good time user experience. So these are my takeaways today.
Uh, yeah, I would like to go next. Uh, Good and bad experience are like, we are just limiting them. They are just like two faces of a coin. But I think of good. What I think of user experience is like a range, like an average, like number of people like a particular service. If this is, have mass, like if this number is bigger than the number of people who don't like the service or process, then we can say that that's a good user experience. So it's about the,
Okay, what if 90 people like it and 10 people don't like it? What do you do?
we can say that's a good user experience.
What about the 10 people?
Okay.
If I'm a UX guy,
Not everyone, everyone's needs are not similar.
so what do you do if you're a UX person?
We can create options.
You create a different user experience for them. Vanilla, butterscotch, chocolate. Flavors, right? Okay. Thank you, Raman. Who's going next?
I am.
Yeah.
Okay. So two key takeaways. One is the team who's building the product or whatever, they have to have a good experience if the user has to get a good experience. If they're not having a good experience, the product will not be giving the best user experience in any way, operations or digital product or whatever. The team has to have the best experience, and it's a must. There is no compromise in that. And another thing is like the people who make the product, if they actually enjoy the product, then I mean, I could say they are the first people to say if the product is actually giving a good user experience. Like they act as users. If they don't see if the product is actually giving a good experience to them, then giving it to the users might not be the best idea. So that's my key takeaways.
Okay. Thank you, Naveen. Who's going next? Yeah, Aisha, please go ahead.
So I have two takeaways. The first one is to have the qualities which we want to have it. They should be a part of culture rather than part of job. And the second one is the logic behind thinking from the other end perspective. Either it is the business, either it is even the talking or even the teaching. Thinking of the other end perspective is important.
Thank you, Aisha.
My first takeaway is that the user experience should be decided by the user themselves. And
Should be.
user experience, yeah.
Should be.
No, I'm. It.
Okay.
I'm. Better be. It is decided usually.
Okay.
Okay.
Or you would like the user experience to be decided by the.
Yeah, I would like the user experience to be decided by the user.
Okay. And why?
Because they are the ones who decide their experience, right? It is the user's experience.
Why?
So, because we want, like, they are the final consumers of the product, right? We want them to get satisfied or like have that experience.
Okay. And your next, you are going ahead with one more.
Yeah, and it is not just the responsibility of a single team. It should be ingrained in the whole company, and yeah, like the team in the sense the UX team.
It should be ingrained in the entire thing. Then
I mean, not should be. Okay.
Can be.
I can't add. Yeah, can be. Yeah.
Why?
Why in the sense? Because like from the starting stages of the product itself to the delivery stages, in any stage, there could be this aspect of user experience, like going wrong, or where you might develop the user experience.
Okay.
Yeah, that's.
Thank you, Satya. Yeah.
So yeah, Amrit, you can.
Go ahead, go ahead. I will add last.
No, you go first. You're raising hand.
Thank you so much. So, Tarun, I will just want to add one thing like this will be means the whole details and also our team's action point. We will the objective will contain one thing for user experience, and the whole decision, the every decision and every like feature we will add only it adds a good user experience. So yeah, it is means our or my action point.
Again, do you always choose good user experience?
Means whatever user means user like.
Okay, now if you're a nutrition company, would you serve bitter gourd to your customers?
If something is giving good results to their health, not
That's not good user experience according to the child. The
then the
child
taste
doesn't
as well.
want bitter gourd.
A flavor means with the flavor.
But what if even what if that flavor is diluting the bitter gourd? Okay, what if you're not able to give good user experience? Would you give that bitter gourd or would you not? If you didn't have that flavor.
Wow, again, but yeah.
All I'm trying to say is it's not always possible to assure good user experience when you're trying to give value to the user. We do try and think of user experience everywhere, but it's not always possible.
Got it. Value first, then second user experience.
We'll discuss.
Yeah.
So my key takeaway from this discussion was like earlier when I used to think of UX, it was limited to product, right? Like the app, the website which I'm going to use. But now after this discussion, I am like, yeah, I'm seeing everywhere, like in the market, in the in the restaurant, everywhere where we go is user experience, right? What I actually feel while while going somewhere, while discussing with something, right? Everything is user experience. So yeah, that was my key takeaway from this session. And also uh, it's not about the user experience every time. We have to think of value as well. So yes, both has to work on parallel.
Okay. Thank you.
My,
Yeah, Kanchi, please go ahead.
my key takeaways from this session would be that it is important to inculcate the like the UX in the whole organization, and to like not think from like product, like people in the company should not think about the user experience. User should like we should take user also in the consideration and think about that.
Okay.
That's it.
I would prefer listening to this sentence without a should the next time. Four of them. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. But it's wonderful. I mean, a lot of nice perspectives were exchanged, and it was, to be brutally honest, a lot of times I didn't have counter examples myself, but all of you just brought in beautiful counter examples like video game or Linux and all of that. It was nice that we analyzed a lot of boundary cases to understand the concept better. It was a beautiful dialogue, and as always, every young CXO dialogue of Deep Thought has been super exciting. The subject is so beautiful that whenever you discuss UX, it's just too interesting compared to the other topics. Thank you, everyone. Yeah,